Have you ever thought just how boring or ridiculous news commentary is today? Welcome to the RealJax podcast with Jim and Larry. The RealJax podcast. From crime and politics to entertainment, you can expect something different. Now, let's get real, Jax.
Hey, welcome back to RealJax with Jim and Larry. Got a special guest today. This might require a parental advisory.
Yeah.
Of episode 4. Gary, Larry, I'm throwing right to you here.
All right. Crawfish, make sure you put the E on when we put these in the directory. Put that explicit on there. Don't forget that. So we're going to hit our sponsors real quick, then we're going to get into today. It's going to be a good show. It's kind of something different and be colorful. I promise you. I promise you. So our ads, Extreme Wings is our first sponsor, of course. You know, it's my new employer. Doug's going to come get some food from me. I'm going to be cooking on the line that day when he does. Extreme Wings, 12200 Atlantic Boulevard. They've got a location 11565 North Main. That's the Ocean Way out there by Eastport. 160 Shops Boulevard. It's the St. Johns County location. 6337 Roosevelt Boulevard, right by the NES Jacks, right in front of Target. Family Sports Restaurant and Grill. And they're more than just wings. And like I always say, their tea is outstanding because I'm an aficionado. Tremendous Barbecue. I know you go there. You like that, just like you like Gators. I know. 8927 Herlong Boulevard. Been open since 2007. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 8, Sunday, 11 to 3. Full barbecue menu, wings, shrimp, fish, everything's homemade, and they cater any size party or event. They love first responders. Like I've said before, they feed us free in September. Us, I'm a civilian now, I can say that. But Advanced Window Tint, Ricky Tillman, 5024 Sunbeam Road. Known Ricky, like I always say, since I was a kid. He's been in business over 26 years. He does government buildings, commercial buildings, homes, vehicles. He's a 3M Platinum dealer, highest rating of 3M dealers around. So, and then obviously we got our next one, which Jim owns, Secure One. So go ahead with that, Jim.
Yeah, Secure One Protection Services, your #1 choice for home and business security since 1986.
Outstanding.
Hey, I'm just going to sit back and watch.
So we don't have a big fancy bio on this. The guy we got on today is Doug Dixon. Douglas Dixon.
Douglas, yes.
Douglas. I don't know why he likes that. I guess it's formal sounding. But anyway, I've known Doug. We go way back to school together. We ran in the same circles. He had nicknames back then like Dougie Fresh and had all these names back when the 80s and 90s when hip-hop was a little different. And he's as ghetto country as you can get. He's from Sweetwater on the west side of Jacksonville. And he's got a great story, and you'll get some colorful discussions between me and him today. And he lies a lot, just so everybody knows right up front. He tells a lot of stories, and about 90% is incorrect, but they're good stories regardless, so we're going to hear those. But Doug has got a testimony that I think a lot of young men, a lot of people that have struggled in their life, and we've had, Major Colgate, he's gone through some struggles and talked about that. Doug's got a great story. I look up to him for that because, Doug ran into some trouble back in the day, and he credits some changes made in his life after that, and learned a business and been very successful. And outside of the nonsense we'll say to each other and the clowning we'll do, I look up to this guy. So he's one of my trusted friends, and, our conversations probably shouldn't be heard by other people, but just like when he cussed me out today because I made him come to Southside so late. But, Doug, I just want you to, before we get into the lies you tell, let's talk about your life. I don't want to do bio. I want you to do your bio. I want you to say where you came from, how you grew up, where you went, how you ended up. You obviously went to prison, and you come out, and you've been very successful and been involved in politics and all since then and everything. And so go ahead and let the folks know.
Yeah, well, like you said, I grew up on the west side, grew up in Sweetwater, went to Oak Hill, Jeff Davis, Forest, and, that's when I met Larry. Larry and Jimmy Judge, Andre.
And when we could call those schools by those names too.
Yeah. I ain't no fucking West Side High, But anyway,
right.
Back then I used to take their fucking lunch money and shit. You know what I mean? I used to make
on the
Did you hustle him?
First lie.
Did you hustle this guy?
Yeah, I used to take their lunch money. You know what I mean? They used to have to pay me for protection and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why you think they become the police? They got tired of me bullying them and shit. You know what I mean? I was like, so they like. And I'm telling you, hey, we're going to join the police force, and we're going to put your ass in jail. you know, for all these years you've been taking our lunch money and shit. We're gonna put your ass in jail.
We became police officers just so we could put you in jail for the lunch money.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, like they really owe me 10-20% of their fucking pension. You know what I mean? Because I forced them, you know what I mean, to join the police academy. You know, they got tired of me taking their lunch money and shit, you know? But anyway, so while they was going to school, 10th grade shit, I was selling dope, you know? I'm like, hell with going to class. You know what I'm going to class for, you know? I mean, I'm making, you know, $2,000-$3,000 a day. You know, I ain't going to school, so I dropped out of school in the 10th grade.
Classic entrepreneur over here.
Yeah, you know, and my mom passed away when I was 16, so, you know, I'm the baby out of 10 siblings. But I pretty much, you know, at, you know, that age, you know, I'm pretty much want to do my own thing, you know. My mama passed away. My daddy was, you know, around, but, you know, he didn't have no control, you know. So, you know, I turned to the streets, you know, and, you know, selling drugs, stuff like that, you know, being a menace to society. And, you know, one thing led to another, and, you know, that life went on for a while, and I ended up.
How long?
You know, I started selling drugs when I was 14. I went to prison when I was 27. Well, I got in trouble when I was 18, and I was on federal probation for 5 years. And, like, soon as I got off federal probation, I got another federal charge. You know,
so you made it 5 years on probation without getting locked up again.
Yeah, I mean,
that's tough to do, man.
Yeah, and I was selling dope then and shit. Yeah. You know,
so you were really rolling the dice.
Yeah, and so you know,
so the first time they popped you was 18, an adult. Yep. And okay, for selling.
Yeah, and then the second time, I went to prison behind some crooked ass police. But so I went to prison, did 5 years. You know, and I came home, but, you know, that was a wake-up call for me because, you know, I thought about how hard, you know, my mom worked. You know, she worked 2-3 jobs, you know, and before she passed away, you know, she had, you know, her own house, her own mortgage, you know, whatever car she wanted to drive, she brought that car, you know, and, you know,
and doing it legitimately.
Yeah, you know, and so, you know, in prison, I just, you know, it's like I had a come to Jesus moment, you know, and said, you know, my mom, you know, she worked hard, she sacrificed a lot, you know, and this ain't the life that she would want me to be living, you know, and, you know, I had a 5-year-old daughter at the time, my oldest daughter, Ashley, you know, and I'm like, if something was to happen to her right now, like, there's nothing I can do, you know, it's like somebody kidnapped her, you know,
you can't be there for her.
So I can't be there for her, you know. And, you know, those two things, you know, thinking about how hard my mom worked and, you know, my daughter just being in a space that, you know, her daddy is not there to be able to provide, you know, and be a father that I should was, you know, it was a turning point in my life, you know. And I'm like you know, it's time I got to make some different choices, you know. And so, well,
prison will wise you up.
Well, I wouldn't say that, you know, and a lot of people think, you know, yeah, prison will wisen you up, but you talking about on a compound 2,100 people, and I can guarantee you 2,000 people gonna come out and say, shit, I know how to beat the system now. You know, it's just like people say, oh, you go to prison, you work out, you get to looking all good. Well, guess what? Probably 100 people out of 2,100 people is working out. You know, nobody make you go work out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know.
I never saw anybody come out of prison all skinny. They usually come out looking well-fed and pretty fit.
Yeah, well, for the most part, because, I mean, you know, you limit to the stuff you can do, but, you know, I can promise you, you know, majority of people in prison don't work out. You know, because you ain't made to work out. You know, you got some people that want to go in there and get out in shape. Like me, I had to go in and get in, you know, try to get in some shape because I was like 270 pounds.
I thought if you don't work out, though, you might get bullied. I thought that was the main reason for getting fit and getting big, so you don't get picked on or, you know, become somebody's wife.
Nah, I don't know. I mean, it might be like that in state prison. I was in federal prison.
Right?
Yeah, I was in there with bougie motherfuckers. You know, senators and all that. Fucking.
They're probably scared to death of you then.
Yeah, politicians and shit. Yeah, I was locked up with Steve Madden.
That's right. Federal time.
Yeah,
okay.
Steve Madden. Yeah, wow. Steve Madden to make the shoes.
You didn't say. Okay, I didn't realize it was federal time. Okay.
Yeah, I did federal time. I ain't state time. Fuck that shit.
All right. You lucky.
Yeah, they wild in state prison. So about 6 months, before I got out, I was, nervous. Like, hey, I'm getting ready to get out. Like, what I'm gonna do? I don't have no other stage, no money, no nothing. And so, I was talking to a friend of mine that was locked up. He was from California, and it was like I was praying, like, God, what I'm gonna do, and this guy know nothing about the towing business, and he came around to my cube, and he was like, man, I got something for you, and I'm thinking about like what the hell I'm gonna do when I get out of here, and he come around here with guessing games like, hey, I got something he want me to guess what he got, he got it behind his bike. I'm like, yeah, like what you got, you know what I'm saying? And so he got this magazine that I used to subscribe to, Tow Time magazines. And he had one of those magazines, and he was like some...
Tow Time magazine? Yeah. Never heard of it.
Yeah, Tow Time.
Is this like an industry magazine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So were you into towing back then? Mm-hmm. So that was something you were interested in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he gave me one of those magazines, and it's like when he gave me that magazine,
blessing.
Like God was like some... Here go your answer. Mm-hmm. What you need to be doing when you get out. And so once I got out, I talked to my brother that's next to me in age, my brother named Greg. And, he worked for the city. And, my brother, he was, just, 9 to 5 guy. He ain't looking for no problems, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up, telling me that I can, stay with him till I get myself together. And so when I got released from prison, I had to go to the halfway house in Ocala for like 2 or 3 months, and then I was on home confinement, and I stayed with him. And he was like hey, my light bill $75. Anything over $75, you pay. If it's $76, you pay $1. If it's, so I'm like okay. So I stayed with him about 11 months, till I got on my feet working at this car wash and saving my money, and end up buying a, old raggedy tow truck, and did some work on it. And
your first tow truck.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Remember when in my business, when I bought my first company van, old used van, $1,500, and washed it, waxed it, put letters on it, and real proud of it. That first vehicle's a big deal.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about I cleaned on this thing for like 2 weeks.
Spray painted. You got an aerosol overhaul.
Yeah,
everything.
I got everything. I was able to get the seats redone, all of that type of stuff. And I started my business, and I remember used to just sit around. I used to run my business out of my buddy's shop, Protec Automotive. A friend of mine named Donna that passed away. I was there for like 10 years, and man, we was like brothers, But I, remember like just sitting around, and he was like, "D, you ain't got nothing going on." I'm like, "Nah, but it'll pick up." I just got to be able to answer the phone when somebody called, and it did, Within a year, I was buying another truck, and and I brought the second truck because I'm like, I ain't gonna put nobody in the second truck. I'm gonna buy this truck for a backup truck, And I did that, and the next thing I know, I'm buying another truck. So when I brought the third truck, that's when I started getting get a driver. And then once I got a driver, like the next thing I know, it's like I'm buying a fourth truck. And I'm
growing.
Like, okay, yeah, I got to get a dispatcher now, And so I, was up to my buddy's shop, and I'm like, hey, speaking of my brother Greg, he calling me now. So I'm like, okay, like, I got to get a dispatcher, like I need an office now. And so I end up getting a little 8x32 office trailer and putting it in the back of my buddy building, and setting up an office back there and getting a dispatcher, and next thing I know, I went from 4 trucks to 5 trucks and, 6 trucks, and then I went to buying brand new trucks because all the trucks I was buying was used, and I'm like I went from doing that to buying like $100,000 trucks, like
the big ones for heavy hauling.
Yeah, Well, no, not the big ones for heavy hauling. It's just that's the
That's what they cost.
Yeah, that's what
regular
yeah.
flatbeds.
Yeah, regular. Yeah, and
Is that Jerdan?
Yeah, I love the Jerdan. Well, I buy, I like Peterbilt and Kenworth, but I buy the Jerdan beds. That's all I ever run.
Good stuff,
beds.
reliable.
Mm-hmm. So, after that, I was, like I said, I was up at my buddy's shop for like 10 years, and then some friends told me about some property to go look at over there in Marietta, which I was kind of skeptical because Larry stay over there. I thought, he, at night he part of the KKK,
Whatever.
so
He knows
you know what I mean. So shit, I'm like, okay, you want me to go over here in Marietta, White House? Like, I mean, black folks.
There's a reason why they call it White House.
You know what I mean? Like, black folks couldn't go over there at nighttime. You know what I mean? So I'm like, so I called Larry and I told him, I said, hey, listen, you need to talk to your friends, your nighttime friends.
So I got nighttime and daytime friends.
Yeah. Tell them your black friend gonna buy some property over here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Tell them Black Doug coming to town. So I end up buying this property over here in Marietta, and I'm like I was talking to my banker, and I'm like, because over the years, me and my banker had got close, over at 1-to-1 finance. And so, I was talking to my bank, and I'm like, I want to get some property, get y'all to finance and stuff like that. He was like, well, you might need to find owner finance, and, it'll be better for you. Won't show up on your credit report and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, he full of shit, just don't want me to, don't want me to succeed, And come to find out, what he was telling me was true. It was cheaper for me to get the property for owner finance. So I talked to this guy. I never met this guy a day in my life, and talked to him on the phone like once or twice. And I'm like, okay, I want to buy this property. Hey, here go the terms, that I do it under. And he was like, okay, fine. Now we all talking, through the realtor. Like all right, fine. And I'm like, man, it's like a blessing, and that was like 6 or 7 years ago. And the rest just been history, man. I just been trying to, stay focused. I started investing in real estate, so I started, buying houses, renting houses, and now I'm, buying land, building houses and stuff like that. So, the towing thing was a start of me, to be able to, do other things. But, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy, giving back, to my community. Hey, God just, blessed me, so I always try to be a blessing to other people.
How did you start, when you started in ProTech, you had your own business. Did someone teach you about, getting a business license and doing those things? Did you have somebody? I know, did Vince Serrano help you with any of that?
Yeah, Vince. Yeah, my buddy Vince now on ASAP Towing. Me and him real good friends. People like to say, we competitors.
He's big company though.
Yeah, I don't, I remember when Vince started out in his daddy's shop, with like 3 trucks, and so we competitors, but I don't look at us competitors. I look at us like, brother sister companies, because we help each other out a lot, and we talk to each other 2 or 3 times a day, and it's kind of like one of those things. We mentor and encourage each other, and I stay in my lane. God gave him, a lot that he can bear. Like I can't. Yeah, like I don't want all of that.
So you got other business. I mean, you got a dealer's license, you got a storage yard. You know,
I got dealer license. So I buy and sell cars and stuff like that.
So you're still hustling? I'm just hustling something different.
I'm still hustling, but it's a legal hustle. Now I ain't going back to jail.
You got your own store.
You seen your friends go back?
Yeah, because like I said, you get them guys, they get in there and they think, oh, I can beat the system now, because I know how they got me the last time. Hey, man, fucking beepers are going out the window. Ain't nobody use beepers no more. You know what I mean? So you come out of prison in the beeper days, thinking technology and stuff still the same. Man, it ain't the same, man. Just, hey, man, get you a job, try to start your business, and you can make it. You just, if you want to be an eagle, you got to fly with eagles.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? You can't want to be an eagle and hang around turkeys. And like I said, it's all about choices you make. It's all about choices.
Now, do you go back and talk to those guys in prison?
Yeah. Well, I was doing dismiss program. Like I done, people calling like me to come to prison. I done been to prison and speak. I did the dismiss program that John Rutherford started, which is a friend of mine. And we not gonna
turn his mic down.
We not gonna talk.
Blowing
No, we not gonna talk about my friend on this show. Let me just say that. But anyway, so I started doing the dismiss program that John Rutherford started.
Right.
Talking to convicted felons and stuff, coming back in, to society to get their life back together. So, like I said, I'm always trying to give back to the community and, let guys know that, hey, man, it's a better way. It's just all about the choices. It's about the choices.
It just takes more of an effort. There's the easy way of making money, but it's the high risk of losing your freedom. And there's a lot of value to freedom.
Yeah, well, I mean, nowadays, it's shit. I'm talking about losing your life, And, I done been through enough to realize that, at a certain point in your life, it don't just become about you. Especially when you got kids, mama, daddy, sister, brother, the things that you do, it's all going to affect them. And I tell guys that even when talking about going to prison or going back to prison, it's like, your family and friends, they sending you money to prison. So, I mean, if they making $20 an hour and they send you $100, how many hours they life they done sent you? You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's bigger than you, when you getting out here, doing dumb shit that, hey man, it's a better way. You owe it to them, And that's like me. Like when I came home, like I had, like 5 people in my circle that stuck by me, the whole time I was in prison, And, that's the one thing I'm like I'm going to come home and I don't want to let them down. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be in a position one day that, hey, if they need me, they can call on me and I can be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, they was there for me the whole ride, I've been scratching these goddamn lotto tickets.
Yeah, I called yesterday. I hear, shh, 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 shh.
Yeah, he like, what you doing?
What the hell are you doing, man? What is that noise? Mind your business.
Yeah.
Scratching lotto. So he's trying to win lotto and take it to the next level. He's trying to get Class C records or something.
I'm like,
he wants a jet.
No, I ain't trying to get no. That ain't what I'm trying to do. Hey, $2 million.
He's not satisfied with 20 tow trucks or whatever.
Man, $1 million or $2 million. I'm like I'm gonna take care of my friends that stuck beside me when I was in prison. I'm gonna get them something, and I'm and park them tow trucks and shit. I'm going to Costa Rica or somewhere. Get the hell out of Jacksonville. Yeah, I'm gonna get the hell.
Was the crime too bad here?
Shit, shit. Hey, listen, the crime so bad here. Shit, I go to work and go home. That's where I go. Work and go home. Yeah.
What you think about the crime in Jacksonville?
Man, crime in Jacksonville is, how they say, it's off the chain. Like, I mean, something need to be done. Back in the day when I was in the streets, like, it's crazy. Like, it was our job. You know, it's crazy, but my job was to be the bad guy, to do what I do. The police job was to catch me. But
it's a cat and mouse game.
It was, yeah, but
still is.
You know, but it's like, you know, back then we knew the police officers like patrol the area. Mm-hmm. So
hold on, you're saying you knew the officers that patrolled the area? You were familiar with them?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like we knew the officers that patrol our area. Like we knew those,
and
officers.
they knew you,
and they knew us. You know what I mean? So it was a mutual respect thing. It's like, hey, listen, I'm on, so shop closed. You know, and we like, okay, cool. You know, even like when the narcotics guys out there, like, I mean, me and one of the guys on narcotics, Kim Varner, we good friends to this day. Like, we met, you know, when he used to come to Sweetwater and, you know, they used to set up shop and I used to be like, hey, man, listen, I'll holler at y'all, you know, when y'all
I'm off now.
We'll be back. Yeah, you know, we'll be back, you know.
Mutual respect.
Yeah, you know, and like over the years, and the thing about it is that, you know, the guy, he wasn't never an asshole or nothing like that. You know, I mean, hey, he treated me like a human. I treated him like a human. He taught to me respect. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a mutual thing. And so, you know, over the years, I mean, shoot, we formed a friendship. And then, you know, like later on in years, it's like I found out like, man, I've been knowing your dad and mom a couple years, and like I ain't even know, like, you know. So I'm like, I see why you such a good guy, because your mom and dad, you know, like, man, I love your mom and dad, you know. And so we, you know, we always had a mutual respect, you know, when we was out there. But, you know, the police officers in the neighborhood, you know, we knew who the police officers. We knew when they was working, when they wasn't working, you know, this, that, and other. I mean,
we've lost that, huh? We've lost that.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you don't know who working, where they working.
It's hard to tell who it is when a car passes by you. You can't see who's in it. The windows are tinted. You have no contact with that officer. No. Or even if they're not going to a call and they're just cruising down your street, you don't know who they are. You can't see them. They can see you.
Beats, we talked about that. The beat sector, you know, guys rode the same areas, and it was like their neighborhood. They knew it. And it's not like that anymore.
Like back then, like they used to come, get out the car, you know, sit down, you know, shoot the shit, you know, walk around.
You couldn't sell while they was there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Shoot the shit, you know what I mean? We used to be like, hey, man, listen, y'all need to haul ass. Like,
we got work to do. We got to make some money.
Yeah, man, like y'all need to haul ass. You know, they
like
did it
just intentionally.
You know, they was like just sitting there talking and stuff like that. You know, but we ain't, you know, like.
Why you posted up on my corner?
Yeah, like we, you know, like after a minute, it's like, hey, you know, like.
Y'all getting any calls?
Yeah, y'all ain't got nothing to do. You know what I mean? Like, cause like it's like I see my customers, like this motherfucker want.
They're waiting for you to leave.
Yeah, like this motherfucker want to spend $200-$300. You know what I mean? He keeps circling the block and shit. You know what I mean? And y'all just sitting here shooting shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it costing me money, man.
Yeah, like, hey man, go find something to do. God dang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they may haul ass 30-45 minutes, and here they come back. Man, what y'all doing, man? We ain't doing nothing. Yeah, shit. Yeah, they want to talk again. Like, hey, man, listen. Like, you know, we had back in the day, who was that? Ronnie Montgomery, you know, Mikowski and
Dave McCoskis and all that.
Yeah, Bradshaw and all of them guys.
Bradshaw.
Like, yeah, you know, and like all of those guys was cool. Like what's his name, Dave Oliver, you know, Pastor. And I like, but all of those guys, you know, they was cool. I mean, if you acted an ass and made them like an ass, I mean, of course, that's what it was. But you know, all them guys, we knew them and they knew us.
What street did you grow up on?
I grew up on Matthews Street, 7055 Matthews Street. Yeah. You know, Sweetwater was, you know, like, just like, it's like only like 5 or 6 streets of the Bible.
Yeah, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And
Yeah. Like all that other shit across the street, we used to call that the white section. Robin Hood, Cinderella, all that. They try to say that's Sweetwater now, but they ain't Sweetwater. Yeah, that's the white section, you know. Goldilocks, all that shit.
Fairytale Lane was for white folks.
Yeah, for white folks.
November 3.
No, man.
Or is it Oscar?
It was K1, K2.
Yeah. White folks.
Zone 4.
Yeah,
Zone 4.
Yeah, my buddy John Rutherford grew up on the west side too, on Mother Goose.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
On Mother Goose. He went to Forest too. My brother played
I think his brother still lives out there.
I grew up in Terre Woods with Richie Smith and all them. Jimmy lived off Jamie's though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all west side boys. You know? Yeah.
You listen to Leonard Skinner's.
He listened to everything.
I listen to everything. I listen to country music. I listen to all of it. Yeah.
I just had to
He
ask
listens to me on the phone and cusses.
Yeah.
I wish I had that on recording.
Which one?
That call that came in earlier.
So you heard it, Zach, when he called me?
Oh yeah, that little speaker.
I'm like for real. Like,
can we get a replay of that?
But that goes to show you, like, you know, how our friendship is. Cause like I don't fucking come on the South. Anybody tell you? First of all, I'm in the bed at 5 p.m. because my morning start at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So
that makes no sense.
No, fuck that. Like, so like I go to the doctor over here, Gate Parkway and 295. My appointment's always in the morning. Like anybody know me. First of all,
Dr. Moore?
Like, driving. Yeah, I still,
Alexander Moore? Is that your doctor?
Shit, I don't know his name.
You're right around the corner from
Lake Mead. It's on Lake Mead, right at Gate Parkway.
Nah, Ricky told me to go there. The dude work on your bike. Okay. I forget his name.
All right, well, go ahead with the story.
So, but anyway, so I don't come on like this side of town. Like I'm a west side boy. I don't like to be in all this traffic and shit. That's why I told him, like, Larry, you got me over here fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a fucking what they call it, a salami, monsoon, whatever the fuck this, you know what I mean? Like,
salami.
I mean, yeah, like 3 fucking o'clock in the afternoon, like
to town center area.
Yeah, like you fucking crazy, man. Like,
you need me to buy you dinner?
No, I don't need you to buy me dinner. What I need you to do, get me a fucking police escort all the way back to the west side. So
I'm not the police anymore. I'm not the police anymore.
Well, call some of your friends, you know. I mean, you still got a couple friends. Shit, you know. Goddamn, maybe the sheriff and Lenny Kerr don't like your ass, but I mean, there's some people down there like you, you know. Shit, get me a police escort. So I ain't got to be in all this damn traffic. Right. You know what I mean? Shit, yeah. Now, but I got to ask Larry a question.
Oh, here we go. So I'm on the.
Hey, this is the part we've been waiting for. So.
Yeah, like,
let me get comfortable here.
Like, how you go from being the police to being a motherfucking chicken cook? Like, I'm just trying to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I done see people, you know, they retire, you know, shit, they go work at the school board or state attorney's office or something like that. But, I mean, this motherfucker go from the police to being a chicken cook.
You want the answer? Or are you just being facetious? You just being smart.
I mean, I'm just.
All right, so when I left, I worked for Nimnick Chevrolet. You remember back in the day, I worked for my dad. He was over there.
Yeah.
And I did something for police. So when I got done, I didn't want to be the cookie cutter mold that goes and works at the school board or UNF or airport or any of those things. I wanted to do something different so I can cuss at people like you, for one. So I decided, I made friends with the guy that run the restaurant. He was looking for a general manager. And obviously, I got to learn every position. So when it comes to cooking, I hope you walk in and I'm the one cooking your food.
No.
So he offered me, then obviously I've got to learn everything from dishwashing all the way up through management and running the numbers and schedules and doing all that. So I wanted to do something different because, hey, I might want to be an entrepreneur and open my own restaurant at some point. You never know.
A tow company. I
bet you would. No, I would know better than to buy from you. It'd be,
I sell real
those
cheap.
numbers would be fun. They'd be fishy if I got it from you. So, yeah, every time I get a tow bill, and I've used it, don't trust me. My boys have broke down a few times, and I get a tow bill. I'm like, hey, man, how much is this?
Shit.
He's got like an access charge just for me, I think, on that bill.
Hey, nah, because his boys, they just don't break down. These motherfuckers roll over, tumble. You know what I mean? You know, I'm like.
He's met them both. Yeah, he had to calm one down in this parking lot one day. He was talking. He said, "Man, that boy just like you."
Yeah, I like Larry. Like he called, like, how the truck look? I'm like, so you ain't seen it? No, I ain't seen it. I'm like, the motherfucking rear end, on the hood. This motherfucker twisted and mangled. So that's why he get upcharged and shit. You know what I mean?
I think Jacob was both of those.
Yeah.
Jacob, and then one in the ditch, and then the one that got rear-ended and run over and flipped over and all that kind of stuff. And then he sold it to some dude you knew bought it.
Yeah.
And fixed it. And Jacob was mad for like 6 months.
Yeah,
I see my truck driving everywhere. The Tahoe he used to have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole rear end was twisted, everything.
I said, you don't want to see it driving because it looks like a crab coming down the road. Front end's all jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that vehicle back.
Yeah, this guy ended up buying it and fixing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to do something different. And, I want to get into some political stuff. And I wanted to get into a private company and do something where, I can be all over. And the guy that did it, he kind of started the offer. And I wasn't considering it at first, but he kept talking about it. And then, in conversations like you and I talking about the tow business, or Jim talking about alarm business or anything else, you just get an interest and you're like, well, how does this work, or how does that work? And, over time, he starts talking about wanting to hire a general manager. I was like, and then all of a sudden he shows me numbers from the restaurants, and he says, he's opened 2 more. So him and his wife own it. They're spread kind of thin. Just like you start getting a bunch of trucks, you start needing a dispatcher and you need help. He wants help, and he's willing to teach everything from the ground level up. So I thought, you know what? You got to keep your mind engaged. You got to do different things in life. And I thought it would be really important for me to do something different. And obviously, down the road, I'll do something else in politics. Probably not with Lenny Curry, but, I'll do something else down the road. And,
run for sheriff, run the sheriff.
You going to write me a check?
Who?
A check, Doug. Check.
Fuck no.
Oh wait,
I ain't writing.
He'll write a check and be somebody else's name.
I ain't writing. The only person I'm writing the check to now is Keisha Burke, and that's it for sure. That's it.
Well, Keisha's good people. I can't.
That's who I'm gonna support.
Oh, but it wasn't that before, was it? Yeah, it was gonna be Mike Bruno before that, though, wasn't it? Until Mike Bruno got out of the race, right?
Yeah.
That's who Mike told you to support, right?
I was gonna. No, Mike ain't tell me shit. I was gonna support Bruno. Yeah, because I like Bruno, but Bruno got out of the
Somebody
race.
called you, though.
Bruno got out of the race. Ain't nobody called me.
Who called you to support him?
Hey, why do you think Bruno got out of the race?
I got the slightest idea. I have too much shit going on to keep up with all that bike, those shit they be doing. But, I mean, I like Keisha. I always liked Keisha, and Keisha's always supported me. So, I mean,
but when you wasn't going to write her a check, you was going to write Bruno a check. Then you had to write her a check. Now you got...
I ain't have to write nobody's shit. I go to work. You know what I mean? I go to work and I earn my money. I give my money to who the fuck I want to give it to. Let's start right there.
Let me get some of that down the road.
Let's start right there. And again, I like Keisha. Like, Keisha's a friend. Keisha has always supported me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't going to be Mike Bruno, I mean, it's going to be Keisha. And Mike got out of the race, so yeah, I'm gonna support Keisha. Like,
natural progression.
I mean, ain't no sense in nobody coming to me talking about, hey, support this person, support that person. I'm gonna support Keisha. And I already told her I'm gonna support
as mayor. No, next, never mind.
No, go ahead.
I mean,
hey, you can start being honest now, Doug.
Go ahead.
So we know you just.
I mean,
tell us.
I think he, I don't really think he's a good mayor.
Do you think he's been honest with the people?
I think he a crook.
What makes you think that? The JEA thing?
Well, not
the Lot J thing.
The JEA thing. Like, I mean, like, how you gonna sell JEA and it just seemed like he doing a whole lot of bike door stuff.
Yeah, not exactly asking the citizens if they want their most favorite, valuable public asset sold or not.
Only revenue stream in Jacksonville.
Right, solid.
So, obviously, you and John Rutherford are friends. And you've been working on getting your rights back, right?
Yeah. Now, didn't I tell this motherfucker we wasn't talking about my friend?
I didn't say nothing bad about John Rutherford. I wouldn't say nothing bad about John Rutherford. He's done some good stuff. What are you talking about?
As long as you don't say nothing bad.
All right. So I'm not going to say nothing bad about John Rutherford. I like John Rutherford. He's a good guy to have in Congress. So, especially for the police.
Yeah.
So, but your rights. Have you started that process? Because, I know you was working on it.
Yeah. Well, I've been, submitted the papers and stuff like that. But, I mean, I guess they so backed up. Like, I mean, like 20 fucking years. Like, how can you be backed up for 20 fucking years, you know, like, I mean, I got my rights back to vote through that Amendment 4 shit,
Right.
but it's like, how can you be, I mean, and it don't matter who in there, Republican, Democrat, by the way, I'm a Republican.
It's government
still.
people that are restoring it, and you know how slow the government
You start doing
moves.
business, you understand how the economy works.
Yeah, you know, and you know, and that
Trump, you supported Trump, didn't you?
yeah, shit, I love Trump.
DeSantis,
Yeah.
kind of.
I mean, yeah, kind of. Well, I was on the fence with DeSantis because I really didn't know, like, you know,
He's a lot
I'm
like
a
Trump.
big fan.
yeah,
I'm a
but
big
I
fan.
like, but I definitely like,
Very outspoken.
I definitely like DeSantis. Like, I mean, you know, I'm a businessman, and at some point you got to open up the country, you got to open up the state, you know. So I mean, me personally, I think he doing a good job. I mean,
Cutting
shit.
edge.
Yeah. So, but probably a lot of the, you know, people in Jacksonville,
What people?
my black people be calling
Oh,
like,
my
Doug,
goodness, here
you
we go.
a fucking crazy motherfucker. How can you support DeSantis? But, you know,
Well, you think on your own. You always been
I
an
get it,
independent
yeah.
thinker. So
yeah, I'm an independent thinker. Like I said, there ain't none of them motherfuckers did shit for me or my goddamn daughter when I was in prison. So I really don't give a fuck what you think. But as a businessman, I understand, you know what I mean, what it takes to run a business, you know, what it takes to run the economy. Because I mean, the economy is ran like a business, and people don't know. People think corporate America run this country. Corporate America do not run this country. It's ran by the small businessman. 72 to 75% of this country is ran by the small businessman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people don't understand that. You know, and DeSantis, he trying to get get people back to work. You know, open up the economy. Because you know, small businesses, if we don't survive, I'm talking about the economy is done.
That's us. That's us right here.
We have to survive.
We've been small business 35
Yes.
years, and lately it seems like they're trying to kill us.
Yeah,
Trying to put us out of business.
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
That's exactly
you
what
struggling
we're
to
doing.
have them
We
finding
keep-
workers?
Oh, absolutely.
That's our number one
Give me
problem.
a job.
Yeah, no, I couldn't give you. I don't have family and I don't have friends. You know what I mean?
He said that
Smart
before. I
man.
just wanted him to say
Smart man.
I do
wanted
not
to-
have family and I do not have friends. But hey, one of the best things he could have did was take that damn federal money and tell them to keep it. Friday the 26th, and hey man, it's time for people to go back to work, because I think the government is just trying to condition people. If you done got into a pattern, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, it's like, it's a hard habit to break. And now you got these people, man, they done been home for months.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Collecting a check.
they don't want to go back to work. And then the people that's been working from home, they don't even want to go back to the office. And it's like now they feel like they entitled to work from home. They entitled.
Well, they're trying to create a norm. It's a paradigm shift. They're trying to keep people home because it saves on gas,
Depending
and
on the government.
carbon
Depending on the
emissions,
government.
and lights. You don't have to have all these office lights on, and people can stay home. And then they can also, if they're not working, they can just get collect a check from the government. So, and they want people to stay on their phones and their computers all day.
Yeah, but
and buy from Amazon.
Now I don't know about y'all, but when I have to call people, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm getting shitty service.
Bad.
Because these people working from home. First of all,
You hear kids in the background.
Yeah, I got to hear your kids in the background, fucking dogs barking. I hate fucking dogs.
Whoa.
A lot of people don't. I don't. I'm not an animal lover. You don't find a lot of black people.
All right,
like
show's over.
dogs.
Yeah.
Shit. But I mean, it is true. I mean, hey, you talking about don't tell Melissa that. Tell Melissa, look at this fucking
Hey, I met a lot of black dudes that did not like dogs.
I'm telling you, I got
At all.
Look,
That don't
fucking dog bit me on my knee. I mean, I had to get stitches and shit. So I got a reason I don't like dogs.
Legit.
Yeah, I got a legit reason. You want me to get the medical records to show? That's why I don't like dogs. But
Keeping medical records from a dog bite.
I mean-
you know how crazy that sounds.
I still got the fucking police report from your friend.
Hey, we're not going down that road.
Yeah, you don't want to go down that fucking
No,
road.
we're not going down that road.
Doug, are you still driving, or you have all drivers? Or are you just a pencil pushing,
He sits his fat
pencil
ass in
pusher
office.
phone guy,
Yeah.
driving around in your
He gets in his office like
driving around in your Mercedes?
Kingpin, and
I
they're
got
hollering
a-
on the phone all day long.
I got a Toyota Camry. No, I'm the person that got.
He said he goes to the gym about 4 a.m, but
No, I go at 3 in the
okay,
morning.
all right.
No, I'm the person that sit around and put out all the fires now.
Okay. You know, I was asked that, Larry. You ever seen anybody with nails like that?
Clean.
The man's definitely not out there hooking up cars.
Nope. His finger.
I want to know.
Deep in grease.
I'm going to go get a manicure just because those look so good.
No. Even if I was hooking up cars, I have on gloves.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
He's a professional.
like I just grew up like
Can
in
you still
my
do
house with like clean. You know, you got to be clean and be presentable. You know, can I do it? Yeah, shit, I can do it. I run circles around.
Hey, when you're out on the street a lot, I mean, I've seen you run, like when I was on the west side off 103rd, I saw you flagging that arm sticking out the car, people out there running from the police and stuff.
Hey, listen, tell you this story.
That's going to be 90% untrue, but I'm going to let him tell it because he loves to tell it.
No, so I'm going home one day, tired of shit, you know, but I see my buddy Larry, so I'm like, let me pull over here and talk to Larry because I hadn't seen him in a minute. You know what I mean?
Is he working at the time?
Yeah, he was working. So I
police.
see him talking to this young black guy, him and these two other sergeants, right? Now, this is where the shit get real good. So, so I'm getting ready to pull up, you know, so I see Larry kind of like walking up on the little black guy, little skinny black guy.
Yeah, he's about 6'2" and about 200 pounds. But
I don't know where he get this 6'2" shit from. But anyway, so next thing I know, I see Larry like the dude kind of like try to push off on Larry and start running down the sidewalk. I'm like, shit, like, you know, which way I go? Do I help my brother or do I help
my other brother?
So I'm like, oh shit. I got to help my other brother. So I pull down and, so I'm, just so happened when I pulled my car, like, to the end of the shopping center, like, this dude just ran into my car, like, boom, and, like, fell and shit. And
by accident. It's all accidental.
Yeah, and started running and shit. Like, so I drove around because I see, Larry running. I'm like, I don't, want to see nothing happen to him. So I run around. So Larry like, hey, think he ran in the sheet. Like, come over here. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, shit.
Not what happened, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. Like motherfucker, you know I ain't the police, right? So I got to go back him up, right? So we go in the sheet and shit. So I'm like, well, where you at, Larry? So Larry, like, he in the bathroom. So Larry knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. So the dude like, who is it?
Like he's at home.
Yeah.
That part's true.
Yeah. So Larry like, all of it's true. So Larry like, you know who it is. It's the police. Come out. So this guy come out the bathroom. I mean, he was like wired, like shit. Like he come out fighting, So him and Larry, they on the ground tussling. Larry fucking, the handcuffs went well. So I'm sitting there.
That part's true.
I'm sitting there, because I'm trying to see if this guy gonna beat his ass,
Here we go.
And so I, I'm over there telling people, give me sweet tea, and say, hey, I want to get a sweet tea. You know what I mean? While I watch the fight. So
because he ain't helping.
Yeah, like
Key point.
Well,
he's not even ordering you a sweet tea.
No, he's over in line ordering a steak in the sack.
But I'm telling the guy, I'm
stop
like,
resisting. Stop resisting.
Yeah, because Larry was telling him stop resisting. So I'm just repeating, hey man, stop resisting. The way this shit can go on.
And it's real high pitched feminine voice.
Yeah, y'all can get off.
Resisting, man.
Y'all can get off the ground and shit. Because the dude hollering. He calling my name like, hey, Dee-Way.
Because he saw
me some help.
Yeah,
he saw me. Yeah, like.
Doug's like, damn.
Yeah, like, man, I ain't going back to prison. You know what I mean? So I'm like.
I'm going to let him catch a charge for helping the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Shit. So, hey, man. So best thing I can do for you, I can go get the police. So I see these police, they riding around, So I go out there.
Because they lost. Hey. The problem was they lost us. I ran one way, they ran another. They all went to McDonald's. They lost sight of him, and I actually kept up to a certain point, at least to know where he went. And then he pointed at the business where I was walking, and obviously he was in there.
Yeah, so I'm calling, hey. So they like just looking, and I'm like, hey, y'all chief in there, he getting his ass beat. So they like, I'm like, your chief in there getting his ass beat. Larry, right? So these motherfuckers.
This is when you were a chief?
Yeah,
You're supposed to be back at the substation.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to lead from the front sometimes.
That's right.
Like this motherfucker, hey, so they shoot over there in their police cars and shit, right? They jump out. I'm holding the door like, you see, he getting his ass
Eating a
beat.
baklava or something, you know. Having a camel rider.
They jump on the guy, and then this guy, he's still hollering D-Way, D-Way. I'm like, hey, man, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like, I call the police because, I ain't want them to hurt you and shit, and, all of that, So they put the guy on the bike seat. I'm like, oh, thank you. But I'm like, this motherfucker would buy me a steak in the side.
How did he look? Was he sweating?
Sweating.
Heavy blood on him?
No, he ain't have no blood on him, but his ass was
he huffing and puffing?
I was tired.
Puffing,
I was tired.
And that motherfucker was red as a fire engine.
He's always red as a fire engine.
Hey, but that guy got weak over time. All I had to do was ride him for about 10 minutes while Doug ate his sandwich. And after a while, he got weaker and weaker and weaker. And I was glad, too. I promise you I was glad. Because the weaker he got, the better I felt. And I was like, man, I'm going to survive this because Doug ain't doing a damn thing.
Hey, listen, man. The dude, all he had to say was D-Way. I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. You know what I mean? Like
once he said his name, Doug was out.
He
just a spectator.
We can't let that get around town.
Yeah,
a spectator.
I ain't got.
There's nothing like rolling around a
shit.
fish fry grease as assistant chief, and then I get back and Mike Easton lieutenant's like, I'm writing your green sheet, which is what they give rookies when they do something unsafe, because I didn't have a radio, I didn't have a phone. It was just me and him and Doug and the people behind the counter like this.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah,
it was funny because I had a call, and it was, Jimmy called me. Jimmy Judge, we grew up, we'll have him on. We'll try to get him on. Jimmy called me and said, hey, the girl cuts hair. She got a shop over there, and they throwing dice and drinking and being real disrespectful and obnoxious and everything. I go over there, and I sent 2 sergeants over there. They were in the office with me. They went over there, and I showed up right after them, and they was out there with beer and got into it. And one of them was telling one of them, he said, you just harassing her. She ain't got no reason to stop us. And I said, hey, man, you get that beer you just set down? That's curbside drinking. That's enough. And the other guy that ran was like, he didn't realize he obviously had something on him at the time, because he's like, what? He didn't think we had a reason to stop him. Once he knew that he had a charge because he had a beer in front of him too, he started looking, and Sergeant Sessions at the time, he's like, he's gonna dip, because you start getting that look, looking for avenues.
When they start looking around, that's a sign.
Looking for avenues to run, and he was gone. So rabbit. Yeah, he was gone. So yeah, we went on, because he went to the bathroom obviously to flush something or hide something, and we went there and looked, but you get in the toilet or whatever. If he had something on him, he flushed it. So that was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, like.
Nobody got hurt bad. I mean, the guy got dinged up a little bit, and I'm tired.
Like, he wouldn't buy me a steak in the sight, camera
Man, I
rider.
fed you whatever. I feed you wherever you wanted to go. I'd feed you wherever you wanted to go.
Well,
I just offered to feed you when we left here, Doug.
You can let
got to find something negative.
Well, you can let that man know.
Let's go get a steak
at that extreme win. Like I ain't never paying. I'm just gonna, whenever you working, I'm just gonna eat and walk out and shit.
Dine and dash. All you gonna say is Larry.
Yeah. I'm like, take that shit
Larry's
out of
got
that
it.
check. I ain't paying shit. Like, you called them.
Hey, I'll feed you wherever you want to go when we leave here if you want. But you want to go to bed, don't you? What time is it?
Yeah, like shit.
It's almost past your bedtime, man.
I'm going to sleep.
All joking aside, man, bro, I appreciate you. I love you and everything you've done for me and my family, and our friendship, and Jimmy, the stuff you've done for Jimmy. See, people don't realize that he talks a lot of noise, but he's written checks to Jimmy's, the funding of Jimmy's research and the treatments that he can't get through, medical care, insurance. He's done tons, and he does stuff like that and don't say anything. And then you see the clown side of him, and you don't realize how big of a heart he has, and it's huge. It's as big as his table. So I think the world of him, and I look up to him. As much noise as he talks and as many lies as he tells, I love him like family. So anything I could ever do for him, I'd do. And obviously we'll have you back on, man, because your stories, you got great stories.
They're entertaining,
even if they're lies.
Larry, who we got coming up on the next show?
I think we're looking at let's see, we're gonna have Norm Brewer. Used to be a lieutenant with JSO. He's got some great stories about Wayne Clark. That's gonna be hilarious. And some JSO stories and kind of the stuff he's been doing since then. And then we're talking to Cord Bird, and then you got your buddy, the DEA guy. What's his name?
Rick Hastings.
Rick Hastings. We might have him on one of the next ones. I think Cord Bird, we kind of moving that because they were going to do the 5th, and now they're 14th through the 18th of July. I think we'll try to get a few done then. So
Rick's a DEA guy and got into a shootout last year, and I think he got shot 7 times. So he'll have a pretty good story to tell.
Yeah. Wow, well, he's here to talk about it.
It's just a great guy. So, anyways, hey Doug,
we missing anything?
Nope. Okay. Hey Doug, good meeting you.
Hey man, good.
Do you know this guy? He must be a pretty good guy.
Yeah, Larry. He's a piece of shit, but he all right.
Oh goodness.
All right.
Well,
we're out of here.
That's RealJax with Jim
and Larry. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.